And welcome to Hashtag Agency Life. And today in the hot seat is Mr. Kevin Brennan from Build Studio. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm tip-top and champion, thank you. Tip-top and champion. I'm loving those glasses, man. You're looking very good.
Yeah, it's necessary. Yeah.
Well, fair enough. Okay, I do have glasses as well. They are necessary, but I'm also extremely vain. And I was a cheapskate and decided to go for the non-anti-reflective stuff. So if I put my glasses on, you would actually just see this weird effect on the video of multiple versions of me in my eyes, which is very, very off-putting for people. So I'm now squinting at the questions for the rest of this. And also, for people who are listening on audio, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. That's agencytrailblazer.com/YouTube, and you'll be able to watch these very interviews. That's why I comb my hair. All right, so we rock and roll then and go into the first round, which is the About Your Agency section. You ready for this?
Yes, for sure.
Sweet. All right. Tell us the name of your agency and what you do.
All right. The agency's name is Build Studio. We're based out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. To be honest, it's pretty standard stuff. We do about 90% of our work is websites, WordPress websites. We have a few legacy clients that are on Drupal that unfortunately have to stay there, but the other 10% we do some branding work, graphic design, and all that kind of fun stuff. And typically that kind of work is done when they want a website as well. Occasionally we'll get a client that wants just a logo or just some graphic design work, but usually it's in tandem with the website or a full rebrand and all that fun stuff. So
awesome. So websites being one of the key things you offer, but everything else around that as well, the branding,
exactly, and
all of that good stuff.
Yep.
If I was going to buy you a birthday present as an agency and sing happy birthday and get a candle with cakes on, when's your agency's birthday?
It's August 17th, 2011. So it'll be our 7th year.
Oh man. So that's not long off. Have you got anything planned?
Year-end taxes.
Oh man, that sucks.
That's about it.
Yeah. I hope the taxman's birthday to you is like a nice rebate or something. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Well, no, it never seems to happen.
Unfortunately.
Which I guess is good. We're not giving the government a tax-free loan, so
true.
They want some money, and that means we're doing okay. So
that's a good sign. So let's find out a bit more about your setup then, mate. How many people do you have in your team?
Well, right now it's just myself, and then we've got contractors. So I'm the only full-time employee. We've gone up and down, but up at around 3 before in the past, and now we've settled back down to just myself. Contractors. We've got a few web developers, and then we've got photography partners, video partners, copywriters, things like that. The stuff that we can do, but we're not experts at. So that when it's time to do the heavy lifting, things like SEO work, we can get a website out the door as good as possible. But when it comes time to doing the big backlinking and all that fun jazz that I don't even enjoy, we call in some SEO guys that we do some work with. So, So that's kind of.
I think it's a very common model to go. So you've kind of got the agency model where there is a physical building and you've got maybe 5 or 6 people all meeting in one place. But I'm seeing more and more people going the lean option and having a more virtual setup where you'll have your partners, you'll have contractors who are regular, and also everyone's working from specific locations, which kind of segues quite well into the next question, which is, do you have a physical location that you leave to go to and work at, or I'm guessing, do you work at home?
Well, we did have a physical location until December. So the lease was up, and we said that there's not a whole lot of point in spending that money. I want to say we were we were paying close to $4,000 a month.
Whoa!
Just for the parking and for leasing and we had about 1,100 square foot spot that was gorgeous. It was right downtown Calgary. It was fun, but completely unnecessary. So,
and looking at the video, if people go ahead and check on YouTube, you'll see what a beautiful location you're sat in right now with all those books and everything. It looks really cool. Did you have to tidy?
I tidied a bit, to be honest.
Everything is under here right now in my
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
I
There's
can't actually
no pants right now.
no pants. Oh man.
Yeah.
So obviously you have a team. You've got a setup of contractors and partners and
Yep.
that. What sort of culture do you guys have?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that do what we do. So, I mean, we kind of pride ourselves on keeping clients, keeping them happy,
Mhm.
having lots of long-term clients. So the customer service side of things is what we kind of focus on. We also want to make sure that it's, I mean, I've got kids. All of our contractors, they've got families. So it's a work when you want, work when you can kind of atmosphere.
I like that.
Because on a nice day, I'd rather hop on my bike for a couple hours than do some web work. So I'll work into the evenings if necessary. So we kind of our hours aren't really set. It's when people want to do what they do, and as long as the work gets done, it gets done. And then the customer. I mean, they always say the customer is always right. Not always the case, but the customer needs to come first when we need to understand what they need.
Yeah.
And so that's where we come from. So as long as we've got the happy contractors and happy clients, everything seems to run pretty smoothly. So
I really like that. And it's family seems to be the very common thread throughout everyone I've interviewed so far in agency life is making that time for family and having that balance. And I love what you said about actually sometimes it's well worth just going out. We did that today. Me, Larissa, and my wife Kate just went out for a meal and we chilled out for 2 hours and then we came back to the office because why the hell not? It's a beautiful day outside and we were stuck inside in a really hot office and it's the hottest weather for the UK right now. So we might as well enjoy it because we only ever get 3 weeks of summer.
Well, yeah, I'm in Canada, so we know exactly how that is.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
back in the day.
That's right.
I lost the accent a long time ago. So let's talk about your mission, your business. And I guess the next question would be, do you work in a particular niche or niche, depending on how you say it?
No. Niche. We say niche. I say niche. But we know I don't. And one of the big reasons is Calgary's a big oil and gas town. And a few years ago, that was in the crapper. So almost immediately, all of those clients dried up. And we found that a lot of the people that we knew in the industry that kind of had those clients, they lost a lot of work very quickly. And while we did see a bit of a dip because of that, that trickle down, everyone kind of in this town is kind of connected to oil and gas somehow.
Yeah.
It was a lot slower for us to lose those clients and to see that trickle down. So, we only actually lost a couple bigger clients, and we were able to hang on to all the other ones that kind of was our base anyways. So
yeah.
That's the reason why we haven't gone in with a niche. But I know that it works really well for someone, for some agencies. For us, it's more fun to, one day be working on a hair salon or a yoga studio, and the next day it's oil and gas, or the next day it's a nonprofit. Those kind of things. It's a little bit more interesting and a little bit more diverse for us. So.
That's exactly why I niche on agencies, because I get to work with agencies who all have completely different niches. So I have worked on a yoga website, a hairdresser's website, equally a massive, huge enterprise corporation and their back office CRM system. So it's like no day is the same. I'm with you there. I totally agree. I'd never thought as well on the niche thing about the whole risk of if you are in a very specific niche and that niche was to be affected, I don't know, by Trump's latest tariffs, etc., and then businesses are closing down left, right, and center. It can be very scary. So I'd never actually thought of that. And so thank you for that one.
We do some agency work too, and that's kind of the fun. You're right, in that they've got their own niches, and we don't have any beer clients, but they do. And so it's been fun to pick up some of their work. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
So as an agency, and you kind of alluded to what you do quite a lot, which is predominantly around websites, etc. But as an agency, what do you think the one main problem that you solve for your clients might be?
Oh, well, a lot of them. I mean, the immediate answer is just the technical side of things. A lot of our clients are just really good at what they do. So if it's a retail client, they've got their brick and mortar store. They can they can sell their clothing, they know fashion, all that kind of stuff, but they don't necessarily know anything about e-commerce. They don't know about, payment gateways and security and order fulfillment when it comes to doing things online. And so that's where we kind of bridge it for them. We want them to be able to have that kind of the usual personal touch that they add to when they see their clients face to face, and how we can kind of convert that over into something that's digital. So it's still kind of personal. You're still dealing with the same customers, just in a different way. So, typically it's the technical side of things, obviously, that they, might not have the same kind of strength with. So, and then I think just understanding the user is important. A lot of our clients, put it delicately, they seem to think their content is the most important thing, and it is. But sometimes they want to answer every question that their potential customers possibly could have, regardless of whether it's going to overwhelm them or not. So they'll throw a 3 or 4 page document at us and say, put this on the website. It'll tell the clients everything.
Man, yeah.
So everyone's got this.
I guess that's because they're really good at what they do, but too good at what they do.
No, exactly. And so we just step back and say, no one cares about your content as much as you do. Let's pull it apart so that we're giving them the best of what you've got. So
you're kind of solving the technical aspect, that disconnect between their knowledge and then getting on the web, but also it sounds like as well as the strategy as well behind it. So you cannot put a 3-page document up. Let's look at this differently. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about marketing and how do you guys generate your leads?
It's almost entirely word of mouth at this point. A few years back, we had done some search engine optimization work, and occasionally we get those kind of calls. Typically, they're just tire kickers, though. So they're just looking for quotes so they can fill their 3-quote requirement that they got to bring to the boss.
Yeah.
But for the most part, and the best leads are always referrals.
Totally.
And the reason is that hopefully they found out what we charged the last person. So they know the quoting process is a little bit easier because you're not having to guess at what their budget's going to be. And so there's a little less sticker shock, which is nice. They also know the kind of work we do. So when we populate our website portfolio, it's not always just the best work, but it's also the work that we want to be doing. So I particularly enjoy working with nonprofits. People sometimes think nonprofits don't have money, and they have a lot of money, typically, and they've got a lot of money to spend on things like the web, things like getting their message out. So they often will be able to put a lot of trust in what we do. So we target those clients on our web, and typically, they will come from other agencies or other nonprofits that have been doing work with us or do work with them, and it just feeds off each other. So the referral work is where we get almost all.
And with nonprofits, what it means is that they have actually got an awful lot of money sat in there waiting to be spent and reinvested, etc. It's not that they're not making a profit. It's a common misconception. I've seen agencies lower their prices for nonprofits, not realizing that actually the nonprofit really wants to invest in whatever it is. They're not looking for, a good nonprofit is not looking for a cheap price. They're actually looking to benefit whatever the cause is or whatever it is that they're doing. So I'm with you there. So success. How would you personally measure success?
Yeah, well, let's be honest. It's you're making money. You're able to pay your mortgage. You're able to keep your kids in whatever activities they're in. Go on vacations. That's the kind of the easy, tangible thing. But the cheesy answer, but which is also the correct one, is you don't dread going and sitting at that computer every day. I know I did before I went out on my own. And I haven't felt that. since going out on my own, which is nice. I know a lot of my friends that are still kind of in that job that they're kind of forced to be in, or they're working for someone else and they don't necessarily enjoy it. And they have those, oh, I hated my job today. I get those too, but for the most part, it's, I don't mind doing what I'm doing. It's enjoyable. So
I think I will echo that as well. When I worked for a few other companies, I had multiple breakdowns, and yet on my own, running my own business, I'm probably under way, way, way more stress than I ever was. And I still love getting up in the morning, and I still run to my desk to get started. So I'm with you there. And also just being able to, like you said, just pay the bills, do all of those good things. I get sick of seeing on TV or seeing on Facebook all of these look at my amazingly massive house and my really amazing sports car. And I'm just thinking, I literally don't care. I just want to do what I love, and I want to be with the people I love. So I think we're very similar, mate.
Now, I'm very minimalized. I don't want the big house. The bigger the house, the bigger house you got to clean.
And the bigger the bills.
Exactly. So
now I want to kind of get into a little confession time. It's only me and you and a few thousand listeners. So I would love to know, what is the biggest problem you have as an agency or running your business?
Probably, well, and it's probably my own fault, but when you run your business, you run it your way.
Yeah.
So when working with contractors, or working with anyone really, even employees, you kind of have to take a step back and say, my way isn't always the right way. The way I code isn't necessarily the prettiest, or isn't the only way to do it. My design isn't the only way to do it. That kind of thing. So being able to just take a step back and realize that your way isn't always the right way.
Yeah,
you do that with clients too. They know their business better than you do, whether you think you do or not. Whether you think your idea is perfect, they know things that you don't. So swallowing that ego a bit can be a challenge.
I got to admit, I'm still working on that one. The whole swallowing of the ego.
Yeah, no, and me too. I'm not perfect at it right now, but it's one of those things where you just kind of, I've made mistakes in the past where I've thought I was right, and the customer came to me, a few months later, and I was like, "Yeah, this wasn't the solution that we needed," and we outlined this, and this, and if we kind of stuck with that, maybe it might have changed our ideas a bit. So.
Well, the good news is it sounds like you are aware of the problem and you're totally working on it.
Exactly.
You've highlighted it in myself.
Whether I can overcome it or not, we'll see.
Now we're coming into land now. We've only got a couple more questions left. And this next section is on well-being, something that I know I'm personally struggling on. A couple of questions. The first one would be, how do you personally switch off from kind of the day-to-day, the business, and all of that stress?
Well, for me, cycling is kind of become one of my passions, I guess, over the last few years. Just getting out on the bike and leaving everything behind for about 2 hours, is awesome. My wife sometimes asks, she's like, you go on the bike for 3 or 4 hours, and I'll go 100 kilometers or whatever, and she's like, what do you think about when you're on the bike? I'm like, to be honest, nothing. I worry about maybe the cars that are going by or whatever, but it checks me out mentally, and it's perfect when you don't have to worry about servers or emails or anything like that. You're just checked out. And then family time is good. Building Lego with the kids, that kind of stuff.
Amen, brother. Living the Lego.
That's right.
Yeah. Amen. Well, you've kind of answered my second question as well, which is, how do you stay healthy? So I think we can literally jump on to the very last question, which would be, name one tool that you feel has been essential to your business's success, and why?
Well, I mean, it's the reason we started listening to you, right? It's WordPress. If that's is that a tool, I guess, software, whatever.
Yep. That's a good enough tool, man.
Yeah, it's made me some money. It's made my clients lots of money, and as a free tool, that's crazy. So we, as an agency, we try to give back to that. So I help this year I helped organize the Word Camp in Calgary, and next year I'll be taking the lead on that, which is fun, and just trying to get more people involved.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's WordPress. It runs.
Preach is all I can say. And folks, if you don't use WordPress, be sure to check it out on WordPress.org. I'm pretty sure 99.89% of everybody listening to this podcast still remembers it was the WP Innovator podcast before I changed the name. So probably everyone still uses it. So, and it powers 30% of the internet. So I'm with you. All righty, mate. Well, that is everything. Thank you so much for your time. It's been great to learn about your setup. I'm kind of blown away by the cost per month that you were doing for an office. Although saying that, I guess I'm in a village, so the towns around here, there is so much office space around us that it's all really, really cheap comparatively. So we can get a lot of square footage for a few £100. So the thinking of 4,000 a month kind of blew my noggin a little bit, so quite impressed. And the instant stress in my head was thinking, oh crap, that's one big bill I'd have to like put out for every single month. So I'm with you on the.
Well, we thought of it as another employee, basically.
It's insane, right? Isn't it? So yeah, and I suppose when you're in the States, you're near the bigger cities, and that the whole price of space goes right up. It's the same down in London. I would not be able to get the space I have up here down in London, so it's ridiculous. But anyway, mate, thank you so much for your time. You are a legend.
Thanks a lot.
Take care. Bye.